culture because we always love to be working with ACYPI. And that's because we can always guarantee a fantastic audience, a smart audience, a really engaged and interested audience. And also this evening, we can guarantee you a fantastic panel, as usual.
It's an absolute pleasure to be able to introduce our speakers tonight, and it's an absolute pleasure to be doing it here with AsiaLink. On my right, we have Peter Yuen Tsai, or Tsai Yuen. I'm really lucky to have known Peter for quite a while. I met him at ANU, and our esteemed speaker tonight is Grant Dooley of Hastings Funds Management. Grant is the head of Hastings Asia arm, and we have the pleasure of both having played football with John Garner.
But I do thank you for this opportunity to speak tonight. As you've heard, I've had a fairly diverse career in China, and I've been very fortunate over the last, I suppose, 28 years to not just work on China, but to work on Asia more broadly. But really, the one thing that has led me throughout my career, from being in the Navy, as you can see, through to being a diplomat for 15 years, and then finally now working in funds management, has been China, has been Asia, has been a passion for the language, for the culture, for the history, and I think I really do count myself as being very fortunate to have been able to pursue something I have such a passion for, and to make a long career out of it. Actually, I found myself in the street not long after this photo was taken, and a Chinese guy came up to me with a newspaper. And believe me, they had not seen too many foreign sailors. This is 1986. China had not, well, it just opened up opening the doors obviously to the economy and to the influx of foreigners. So I think we were the third of a Western ship that visited Shanghai. So the people themselves were coming up to us and wanting to communicate. And one Chinese guy had a newspaper, and I could see that what was probably the Chinese characters in inverted commas must have been the names of our ships, and he was pointing to it. And I thought, wouldn't it be really cool one day to be able to read that newspaper? And I literally took it off and folded it up, put it in my pocket, and I still have that newspaper today. And guess what? I can read it. And my lesson here is, and to those out there who are aspiring to do a career in China, you have to get to China, and you have to get on the ground. And you have to find those moments. You have to put yourself in those moments where you're outside that comfort box, where you're looking at a guy and you're trying to change your money and he's got no idea what you're saying, and you're trying to write the characters and he's still got no idea what you're saying, and then after a while the message sinks in and you get your money and you find your way onto a train and you book your tickets, and don't do it the easy way, do it the hard way. Because the best lessons in life are learned by doing it the hard way. I'm a firm believer in that. And in preparation for going back to Shanghai, I thought it'd be really good if I learned more about the city. And I think it's a real message for anyone that's going up to China, or anywhere actually, to be honest, to do your homework around where you're going and to actually learn about the place, to learn about the history as much as you can. I had then, for that course of the next year, working with the Shanghai government very closely, I had great access to a lot of, purely because I'd taken the time to learn a bit about their city, to learn a bit about their great history, and to actually try and reach out and establish a personal relationship with a senior person, which then gave me great access for the rest of the time I was in Shanghai. And I think, wherever, it taught me a really strong lesson that the Zheng Qinghong visit, the Du Yuesheng story, and that is, you need to invest your time into people. It really is critical. In China, I got there, I saw there's an opportunity here that while we had very good links at this level with China, very good trade links, very good political links, and we had very good people links as well, and AsiaLink plays a very good role, as does the ACYPI in that regard.
Can you tell us a bit about your transition from the Navy to DFAT, then from DFAT to a fund manager?
Yeah, it goes back to some of the things I suppose I was trying to point out there, and really, to be honest, the one thing that's taken me, apart from the Asia focus, has been people. If you invest in people, you invest in time with people, you build the trust, respect, the relationships you need, then, as I said, you never really quite know where those people are going to go, and really it's not hard making friends and having relationships. What's easy is losing track and losing contact. In the day of, before email, it was obviously a lot harder, but these days it really is not a lot of excuse to try and keep those contacts in place and to try and build them.
Grant, thank you. It's quite rare, I think, that you really get an opportunity to hear from someone with such enormity and depth of experience and to hear such personal experiences and anecdotes. And it's very clear, actually, that it's those experiences which have driven you to pursue the career you have, from the Navy to the Foreign Service to business, and really, I think, actually paving the way for Australia's relationship with China and more broadly the region.